Hello everyone, this is the Sleeping Wendigo, and welcome to another episode of SCP Saturdays. Today on SCP Saturdays, we'll be going over SCP-323, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-323 is to be kept in a 17 by 17 by 17 meter concrete containment cell in Night 91. The object is to be restrained in the center of the cell with a 1 meter container of 8.8 centimeter thick transparent armor lined with one-way laminate, which is to be fit with one electronically locked access point. This container is to be initially lit with the surrounding cell kept dimmer to facilitate the one-way laminate. The cell is to be surveyed remotely at all times, and any signs of activity are to be reported. No personnel are to enter SCP-323's containment cell except to examine the integrity of SCP-323's restraint measures. The restraint measures are to be examined bi-weekly, and any signs of damage are to be repaired immediately. All personnel who enter SCP-323's containment cell are to be accompanied by an armed guard. Personnel are not to be within SCP-323's containment cell for longer than 45 minutes, and any communication around SCP-323 is to be written or spoken in a language other than English or French. In the event that SCP-323 breaches containment and an instance of SCP-323-1 is formed, personnel are to evacuate Site-91 and the site is to be locked down. Remote units are to be deployed to destroy the body of SCP-323-1. Following this, armed personnel may be sent in to re-establish the containment of SCP-323. Description: SCP-323 is a skull of an unidentified cervid measuring 55 centimeters long, 27 centimeters wide, and 31 centimeters tall, with a pair of antlers measuring 35 centimeters tall and 46 centimeters from tip to tip. Growing from the left to right sides of SCP-323, SCP-323 shows signs of damage consistent with outside exposure, with regular pitting, scarring, and weathering across the object, bleaching on the upper surfaces, and missing a lower mandible. The rear of the skull features an approximate centimeter ovoid gap measuring 25 centimeters high and 23 centimeters wide, giving access to an interior space of 16 centimeters deep. This gap shows signs of tool use, indicating that it was carved with tools, possibly stone. SCP-323 displays the ability to react to oral, tactile, and visual stimuli. Testing has revealed SCP-323 appears to have a field of view to that of other cervids and has responded to visual stimuli from up to 50 meters away. The targeting of specific members of personnel, various attempts to breach containment, and a violent reaction towards speakers of French or English languages suggests a level of sapience. However, this is unconfirmed. SCP-323 is capable of limited locomotion, typically in the form of small movements and vibrations. In most cases, SCP-323 will only locomote in the event of a various stimuli, such as moving away when touched or turning when personnel are present within this containment chamber. SCP-323 has demonstrated the ability to make larger movements, such as lunging at personnel and repeatedly attempting to force itself through containment measures. SCP-323 exerts an influential effect in a radius extending roughly 15 meters from itself. Individuals within this radius will begin experiencing cannibalistic thoughts and urges, violent outbursts, and impaired judgment after approximately 1 hour of continuous exposure. Roughly 74% of individuals who reach this point will attempt to place their heads through the gap present in the back of SCP-323, with effects made to keep their mouths uncovered. If this individual is incapable of fitting their heads through the gap, Attempts will be made to bludgeon their heads against the nearby hard surfaces until the point the individual's head fits in the gap. The individual loses consciousness or the individual expires. Once the individual has fit their head through SCP-323, the individual is classified as SCP-323-1. Within 10 minutes of putting on SCP-323, SCP-323-1 will undergo drastic physical alterations. SCP-323-1 will experience a rapid loss of body fat, body hair, and pigmentation, following by the rupturing of the distal phalanges on the fingertips, abnormal tooth growth, and the blackening of extremities consistent with frostbite. Additionally, SCP-323-1 appears to experience greater strength and pain tolerance than the average human. However, SCP-323-1 still appears to be susceptible to physical harm, as it was in prior to its introduction to SCP-323. SCP-323-1's metabolism will experience a dramatic increase, requiring constant caloric intake, with starvation occurring anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes if no self-preservation efforts are made. In order to sustain its increased metabolism, SCP-323-1 will actively seek out and eat other individuals for sustenance until expiration. In the event of SCP-323-1 is incapable of finding plentiful nourishment, SCP-323-1 will make efforts to sustain itself, including limiting movement, rationing available food, and auto-cannibalism. SCP-323-1 will only feed upon humans. It is presumed that SCP-323-1 is capable of receiving sustenance from other sources, but chooses not to. Despite availability or ease of access during the pursuit of individuals, SCP-323-1 has been known to occasionally make various statements in 7 Abwe, Potawatomi, and Cree languages, as well as the native languages of the instance. It is not known of these statements, and the knowledge of these languages of the result of SCP-323's anomalous influence, or they originate from SCP-323 itself. Recovered audio log Incident 323 B752Z4 1196. SCP-323 was recovered on 9/12/97 in the Bittern Lake Reserve, part of the Lac La Rue First Nation of Saskatchewan, Canada, a small unregistered community that has been sustaining an active SCP-323-1 instance by routinely murdering individuals and leaving them out as appeasement. Investigations revealed blank individuals were involved in the murders and subsequently administered anesthetics to a cover story involving an unidentified serial killer was propagated. SCP-323-1, at the time suspected to be the anomaly, died of starvation during its transfer to Site-91. And the recorded number of deaths does not appear consistent with the duration of SCP-323-1's instance. It is suspected SCP-323 went through several instances of SCP-323-1 before containment. However, no irrefutable evidence supporting SCP-323-1's longevity has been recovered. Interview SCP-232-A. James Namagus, an individual involved with the murders and sustaining of SCP-323-1 prior to its containment, was brought in for questioning involving SCP-323-1. Mr. Namagus remained unusually calm throughout and after the interview. Following the interview and containment of SCP-323, Mr. Namagus was administered anesthetics and was reintroduced into his community. Audio log will begin now. Dr. Blank, please state your name for the record. Namagus: James Namagoose. Doctor, please state in your involvement with the murders. Namagoose, I helped move the bodies for the Wendigo to eat. Doctor, what do you know about the object? Namagoose, there was a story of the Cree man back when fighting was common, who tried to control the Wendigo to give his people an advantage. It was just a story, though. The elders knew more, but we were safe, so we didn't ask. Doctor, when did you first encounter the entity? Namagoose, one night I heard yelling all around the village. A warped man walked out of the woods, killed our friend right in front of us. Sometimes it would stare more than it would make to kill. Try to walk to you, it whispered at me. P. Misto, come and eat. It made me cold to my bones. Doctor, and then? Namagoose, then I felt like I could understand the warped man, the Wendigo, and that we could leave with him, like we all do. When we pass, when I was made to kill, I thought of this, and it calmed me. I didn't run. Mr. Namagoose closes his eyes and exhales slowly. After a minute, he resumes talking. It would look at me sometimes, and I could hear him in my mind. I could feel him watching me from out of my own eyes. This helped me watch these people die, and I hoped it would pass on my family. Doctor, thank you, Mr. Namagoose. Audio log ends. Final note. No mental effects to what Mr. Namagoose stated have yet been reported by staff who have interacted with SCP-323 or SCP-323-1. Further investigation into this is not planned. However, staff are encouraged to report any atypical thoughts or feelings experienced while working on either. Hello everyone, this is the Sleeping Wendigo, and I hope you'd enjoyed this SCP Saturday. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you all next time.